So I wonder if anybody else in the room is blown away by how much we cover in a meeting like this. I certainly am, and there's so much covered that I have a hard time recounting it all. But certainly one thing that our keynote speaker at the start, talking about resilience and building that through protecting all kinds of habitat, a broad section of habitat. And so that seems kind of like the whole theme of this, this meeting is how much we're doing in different ways. And I would congratulate all of you and appreciate hearing from all of you on different things that we're doing as a partnership. I don't even know everybody's name. I tried to remember some names, and there was a lot of them, and I didn't remember them all. Certainly, from the Deshka River partnership meeting we had this summer, I heard Fran Sagerboss and Kevin Toothaker talk there, and then when they talked today, it was like, wow, there's more things we're covering about this same issue, and I certainly appreciated that. I think probably some of you had not heard of some of the work that had been done to try and record and maintain some of this knowledge of what our Native people were, how they were using these resources that we have, and I certainly appreciated that. My nephew spoke a little bit here. That was Paul Warda, and talking about his perspective on the Mat-Su fisheries. And people asked him some questions, and I heard some perspective from Paul that I hadn't heard from him. And I like to think, well, shoot, I talk to Paul all the time. And you guys asked him some questions that I hadn't heard his take on before, so that was good. I was thinking through this whole meeting, or through this day, is okay, I'm going to put together something that's going to be very inspiring or whatever. And as the day went on, I just thought, well, man, I just cannot keep up with how much we're covering. There was a lot there. It was good to hear about invasives, about what we're doing with invasives again. It was good to hear from Karen Linnell, the idea that, I heard it first from her is, hey, to get some of these funding things, try and work with the tribes. That would be a good idea. And then we heard it echoed again, this whole last bit on getting funding. I'm not a person that does these projects, but I'm sure concerned with it. I don't know, hearing everything, sounds like if I was going to get involved in that, it would take quite a bit of work, but I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. This funding is important for maintaining our fisheries, maintaining our fish stocks, and maintaining our habitat. Anyway, it's been a great meeting. I think all of you have come. I think all of you who have participated. I know certainly I didn't get to talk to each person, but I know there's other people that you talked to, and it was good. It was good for people to see you. It just helps us remember our resources. The other thing that I would mention, I try and do this every year. I don't have it with me right now, but I try and get a program. You can sign up to get a program with contacts and stuff like that at the start of the meeting. You got to do it at the start of the meeting because they don't print extra copies, but I would encourage anybody that's involved in this on a continuing basis. That's a good thing, that sometimes you might find some contacts there during the year that otherwise you don't have them. And I was glad to hear this information on funding is going to be available through the partnerships website. Is that correct? So that, because trying to keep up with all those addresses and everything, I'm sure lots of people had a hard time with that, and that's good. So anyway, I appreciate everybody that's participated, and I don't know what all you've done. I know there was a lot of setup, and there's going to be some takedown, and I think people that want to help with the takedown, somebody will probably give a little bit more direction on that, but there's going to be an opportunity to help with that. And then the last thing, the partnership and the steering committee wanted to say a special thank you for Jessica. So, and they have something for you.
I'm not sure I really deserve this, but I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm kind of out of words, and maybe you guys are too, but it's, yeah, it's a privilege. And I was thinking in our infrastructure session that I should put my hand up and say, do you guys want us to organize a meeting? You guys, we just bring you together and you work the magic. And you know, that's what a partnership is, that's what it's about. And Andy Couch, you're amazing in all your years out on the land, and just that perspective and incredible depth of knowledge that you bring, and those aspects that each of us bring, and we arrive with the things that we're good at and the things that we're maybe not so good at, but together it does so much. So thank you for this. I appreciate it. And I was reminded this symposium, yeah, how challenging it is just to get out of the house and leave your child behind and actually wear business clothes and have your car run and drive 2 hours or an hour and a half to Palmer. And, you know, the mechanics, the child care provider is actually under the hood with you working on your car, and instead of looking after your kid. And so, as I was thinking about that, and I thought about others, and, you know, the snowstorm and the ice, that invariably that's what we get in November, right, at the symposium time. But each of us was working hard to be here and probably dusting off the good clothes out of the closet. And it just takes a lot, and it takes even more to do it in person. And it's way better, of course. But so it's a privilege and an honor to be here with you. And I also just want to recognize Grant and Libby and Theo and Mike and Sue and Austin and Erica. Debbie Hart also helped out on that infrastructure session. So there were a lot of people that came in on different aspects. And Mike Campfield was really involved too in our sort of art infusion aspects. And Rick Miller, you're always just, yeah. 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 And then also Ann Jeanette Steer, working our presentation support. And then also Alex Papasavas with Turkey Red. Yeah. Yeah, and I no doubt I'm missing somebody, so I'm sorry for that person I'm missing. I know who actually, do we have the steering committee stand up and show who you are? Let's do that. Partnership Steering Committee. Yes, thank you. Great. Yeah, so these are the people that have already committed to be providing that leadership with a partnership, and I feel like you guys have all given the steering committee, I might arrive with some of that material, but it will be to the steering committee. Okay, you guys, what are we gonna take away from this symposium? And looks like a lot, so thanks to the steering committee. Okay, best to you all, and drive safe. And for housekeeping, if you have a minute, if you don't mind, you know, packing up your stuff, and if you could help stack some tables and some chairs, even just if each of us spends a couple minutes doing that, that would be a really big help. Great, and looking forward to, I hope to see you sooner, but see you next year, if not before.